So how are y'all doing today? Oh, that was exciting. How y'all doing today? Oh, see now what happened there? We raised the vibration a little bit more, right? So that can certainly have something to do with whether or not you're being fulfilled, if you're doing great. But actually the question wouldn't be necessarily, how are you doing? The question would be, how are you being today? Because doing is an activity, we're all doing them, it's part of life, it's who we are, it's how we are. But more specifically, how we're being has to do with how we feel the fulfillment we do in our lives. Now I have to admit, before I get started, I made a mistake with the title of this lecture. It really should be being the creation dynamic, living true fulfillment in your life. Because being, like I said, is most important. And whenever I share something, anytime, I always share what I've been going through or what I'm just going through at the time, because everything else is history. So today I'm going to share some of my experience, strength, and hope with you, and some very exciting changes that are happening in the way that I've seen things. I've been teaching and lecturing for literally decades. And every time I turn around, something happens in my life that I'm amazed by. And in this moment, the creation dynamic is that. I've been noticing, I've been working on and working through things, trying to figure out the best way to take care of things. And when I let go and allow and walk through some of the steps I'll introduce you today, things turn out so much better than they have before. Because I'm not trying to hold on to, reshape, or make something. I'm opening my heart, I'm opening my spirit, I'm opening who I am, and I'm able to hear, listen, see. I'm paying attention to what's going on around me, within me, and my relationship to the world that I'm in and the life that I'm creating. Today, I'm going to be sharing to help you fulfill what is the primary statement of the nonprofit I've created, Spirit of Life International, to be the difference that makes the difference. Not a difference, but the difference. And today, that difference is you, for you. I'm going to ask you today to consider being a little spiritually selfish, to really take the time to identify for yourself what would bring you fulfillment. Not just around you, not just in the things that you do or the things that you have, but to feel it on a very deep and powerful level. And in that way, no matter what's going on, you'll have a smile on your face, and even more importantly, a smile on your heart. Because that's the goal of looking at what matters and then creating opportunities and openings for us to be able to experience that in our lives. And it doesn't matter whether it's, if you want things, you'll hear from Eastern traditions, well, you know, we need to let go of the material things. No, not necessarily. It may be someplace you want to be, or someplace you want to go, or something you want to do. It also may be something you want to experience in your life. Whatever it is that you want to be able to experience at the deepest level within you is what the creative dynamic brings about and makes a difference for us. And each one of us, you know, we have a desire to share, to be, to serve, to give to others. Most of us here are like that. In fact, most of us probably have a little bit easier of a time giving than we do receiving. But your purpose, your passion, your presence, the essence of you in this present moment, that's going to determine what it is that you're offering and you're giving and the difference that it's going to make. I want to thank George and Victoria for offering this opportunity for me to speak, for all of you to be here, because you're making the difference with them and for them by participating. So where do we start? Usually right where we are. I'd like to shift from, in our progression or our journey in our lives, from the question, who am I? I asked that question for decades, and I find over and over and over the answer to that is who I am. And who I am ends with an exclamation point. It ends with a clarity of knowing how I am, where I am, what's going on in my life, what really matters to me, what matters to the people I'm around, and the people who are around me, to my family, to you, to the world. And so it's about taking a closer look at what's going on with us. And, you know, that's a big statement, right? We only have 15 minutes. I don't know if we're going to find out an answer to all of us being who you are. But in this particular process, it's about taking a bite out of a slice of pizza rather than trying to take on the whole thing itself. So it's about bringing your attention to a place within you that can help speak to you. Some of you, many of you have maybe come today to speak to somebody else. Have them share insights or answers with you. Activate or awaken their intuition into it. And today I'm asking you to just take a deep breath in, let go, arrive here, and be you. No questions to answer, no answers to find, no problems or solutions. Just you being you and taking the time to begin, at least, to practice paying attention to what matters to you. Creation is kind of a self-explanatory word, but dynamic is the whole key to this process. Dynamic has to do with vibration. It has to do with energy. It has to do with things in motion. Our energy in motion are emotions. Our emotions are our relationship to whatever's going on in our lives, to the people in our lives, the situations in our lives, the things that we value. So it's a matter of beginning to learn to get in touch with that. And each and every one of you do it different. Each and every one of you have your own ways and means, your own mode of operation, as they say. Or, as I call them sometimes, merry-go-rounds. Now, that's not a judgment. That's not a negative. Many of our lives work in cycles. We're constantly working in cycles of life. And our merry-go-rounds go round and round, and we've created them. So today, I would ask you to consider, and I say those words very carefully, because I am not here to tell you what to do. I am not here to tell you what to believe or how to act or what to do. I am here to consider sharing with you something that might make a difference. Take a moment to get off the merry-go-round and take a look at what's going on. How you are, who you are, where you are. We have a hard enough time just stopping in life. My 3 favorite things from defensive driving, now I'm aging myself a little bit, is stop, look, and listen. They used to teach you at the railroad crossings to stop at the railroad tracks because they weren't have the crossings there yet, and you'd listen for the train, you'd look to see if the train's coming. Well, this isn't about trains, of course, this is about you. So when you stop and you take that big deep breath like you did a few moments ago, and you let go into this moment and listen. What do you listen to? You. You listen to the whispers of your heart. You listen to the inspiration of your spirit. You listen to you at a simple, deep, and profound level, because you are the only one that can tell you what it is important to you and that fulfills you. Does anybody here know the meaning of life? No one can tell anybody the meaning of life. Only you know your meaning of life. Only you know what matters to your heart and soul and what's going to make you happy. Well, what does that mean? It says in a document that's very important to our government, the pursuit of happiness. I like to think that we are joy at the very core of our being. We are love. We are peace. We are beauty. We are these things that are the qualities of life that we constantly seek every day. These qualities of life, joy, peace, love, freedom, fulfillment, beauty, they're what brings fulfillment to us. There's what we're experiencing when we're in the middle of doing something, having something, sharing something, being something, more importantly. And we're in touch with our truth and who we really are. So as you decide to get off of your merry-go-round and take a look at what's going on, then we have the question, what do we change? How do we change it? There's those answers I said you don't have to look for. Well, I like to think of it this way. If I'm at a merry-go-round, where am I? I'm on a playground. And if I get off the merry-go-round, I can begin to take a look at different things that are going on either in my life or in the world that I want to experience differently than the same cycles that I'm always in or always on. So I might go over to the slide and slide down the slide. I might go over to the jungle gym. That's spelled J-I-M, just in case you weren't sure. I didn't even get a chuckle out of that one. Please, come on, somebody smile at least. I'm trying. And then there's the swings, of course. These are different experiences we get to choose to participate in our lives that are different than what we do. That's the most important thing. Take a break away from what always is. And I'm not saying that you aren't living a fulfilling life. We all are living to the degree that we have created this fulfillment in our lives. And any of you not want more, deeper, more expansive, more elevated experiences of yourself? Well, taking the looking within, is developing the awakening of awareness, or the awakening of being in touch with your consciousness. You know, our thoughts, our feelings, our choices, and our actions, that's how we participate in our lives. But our observer, the part of us that pays attention to what are we thinking? Why are we thinking it? How do I feel about that? Why do I feel that way? Why am I making these choices? Developing an awakening awareness and consciousness has us then be able to be in touch with what really matters at a deeper level and a higher level, beyond the conditions and circumstances, the things that are going on in our world that seem to sometimes control us. They cause stress or pressure or push or pull us around. When we can take that time to back up a little bit and just enjoy being who we are and taking a look at who we are in that spiritual mirror so we can see what's going on, it makes all the difference in the world. I brought up playground earlier. I've got a 3-year-old, she's almost 3-year-old granddaughter. She's the cutest thing. I know you've got the cutest grandchildren, but I also have a cute granddaughter. She's 3. Boy, if you saw pictures of her, you do one of those, oh. I went and saw her at the playground playing not too long ago. And I watched her play on the swings, and I watched her play on the slide, and I watched her play on the jungle gym. And if you go on the Legacy Trail, they've got all those climbing apparatuses where she has a ball through the tunnels and over the top and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? She was completely fulfilled the whole time she was there, because she let go of whatever it is she thought needed to be. She stopped thinking about, well, how it had to be. She was in the freedom of something that's really, really important for us in this process to be able to identify what's important to us. She was in her innocence. She was in her freedom. Well, what does that mean? That means she doesn't have judgment going on, trying to make something be how it is, reshape life, trying to get it to be a certain way. I'm not saying don't participate in the world. We deal with that kind of stuff every minute of every day. But it starts, as you know, from the inside out. It starts right here. And in the last few years, I've been spending a lot of time looking in. And although I've been of service for decades to churches and spiritual organizations, to my nonprofit, to thousands of people over the decades that I've been of service to others, I found Jim. I found this very simple, innocent, you can call him Little Jimmy, but Little Jimmy's a little older than Little Jimmy used to be. So Little Jimmy does have a little bit more to kind of nurture and help support Little Jimmy in looking at life and making a decision. Well, I have a very clear example I want to share with you that has been very interesting for me to be able to experience in the last few months. I grew up in Florida, born and raised right down the street. So one of the things I really love to do is fish. Now, the men in the room might have more of a connection to this than the ladies, but my wife outfishes me, so that may not be true at all. And I didn't get a chance to go. I'm always doing something for the family, always taking care of a project at the house. In fact, I have a wonderful wife, and she cares a lot about me. In fact, I'm absolutely certain she knows what's best for me. Do you know why? She tells me every day what's best for me, right? Okay, she does it in a loving, respectful way. We have a good relationship. It's a wonderful dance, but she really cares. And so she's always asking, can you make time to go fishing? I know you love it and you never go. We're always doing things with the family and so on. For some reason, I started watching Facebook videos of these guys catching really great fish. I mean, right off the beach, right where I fish, in little bays and off the boat, and using lures and bait like I normally do. And I'm going like, God, that feels good. Did you hear what I said? Not I was jealous of what they were experiencing. I realized when they'd throw the line in, I couldn't wait till the fish would bite, right? And then I couldn't wait till they were trying to reel the fish in. And it wasn't about the fish. I wasn't there. I wasn't throwing the line in. I wasn't experiencing. Oh, but I was experiencing in my heart. My heart was smiling. It was excited. Little Jimmy was going, wow, that's great. What I was doing was I was attuning to the vibration of fishing in a way that I really truly wanted to. Jim wants to go fishing. He enjoys it. So my brother-in-law shows up and his fiance, and I get to take them out in the boat. Well, what that means is I get to be the captain, the guide. I rig the fishing rods. I take care of everybody else. And once in a while, I get to throw a line in the water. By the end of that day, 15 minutes before we were supposed to take the boat back, I hooked a 37-inch snook. Now, if you're not sure whether that's a big fish, it's about holding it here down to my knees. It was a big fish, a big fish. Within a week, I was fishing with my brother-in-law and caught 10 fish. A week later, I got a brand new fishing rod and reel for my birthday and caught 4 or 5 fish and outfished my brother-in-law, which I never do on that day. It was the resonance and the vibration of tuning into what really excited me and fulfilled me that drew to me opportunities and openings, not that I knew about, not that I understood or tried to apply, but I started working in my heart and soul with fishing. Now, I could give you 10 other stories. We don't have time for it. But the idea is get in touch with what really matters to the very core of who you are. Food is a wonderful example. Choose carefully what you eat and enjoy it. Last night, my wife and I went to see John Mayer up in Tampa. Not because we picked out the tickets. We got the gift from our son, and we went up there. We picked a restaurant random, had the best meal possible. We wanted to have this beautiful and enjoyable time out because we normally don't, and we did. Not because we knew what to do or where to go or how to do it, but because we were gifted, not just from my son, but from the universe, by being in alignment with what I call the qualities of life. So when you're looking, when you're taking the time to identify what matters to you and what's going to bring you fulfillment, what you can put into a connection or a vibration that has your heart sing and your soul soar to a new height, be in touch with what brings joy into your experience, love into your experience, peace into your experience. Take the time to take a breath and stop long enough to be you at the very core of who you are as you're making your way through all the activities you've created of this life you're already participating in. It's not about running away. It's about being fully present, fully there, and fully in touch with who you are and what really brings those qualities of life to you and therefore fulfillment. I think I've been given the signal that I've got 1 more minute, but I ask you to consider, as they come in to take the microphone off my shirt, to get in touch with that true spark within your life. Just take the time to stop, look within, and listen to what your heart has to say. And you'll be surprised, not trying to figure it out with your head, how much life, that's why I mean by spiritual selfish, whatever you believe in, call on it, draw on it, go get a reading about it. But connect with what matters to you in the qualities of life, and fulfillment is yours through the creation dynamic of being that every day.